Hello, my name is Naya. I'm doing a little bit late update video, more or less, for the Perfectionist. This build has changed quite a bit. It's a Magic Nightblade Destro Resto Gank build. Previously, you could see a lot of dual-wield builds with things like Flame Blossom and Clarions, or Spinners and Clarions, which I have used in the past, but now the dual-wield playstyle is a little bit less relevant. You can adapt this to use as a two-hander for that nice snare removal, but despite how effective I find two-handed to be, I really still don't like it. It's just plain and simple. So, my gear is a little bit differently than I have in the written guide, and this is because of personal choice. In the written guide for dotsgaming.com, you will see the more bis outline for what you want to do. For instance, I'm using Bloodspawn. This is because I get a lot of heat from a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So that's also my source of stam regen. I don't have any stam regen glyphs on my jewelry to help sustain my stamina. Alteration Mastery does also assist with that. So that's where my stam regen's coming from. On Dots' website, I have it listed for Zans as your monster set because we are not running Fear, and Zans will absolutely tear up permablockers, so that's why that's there. Alteration Master is overall just a good sustain set. I've gone about it in the past being one of the best because of its versatility, rather than its raw numbers like Lich. If you want a good sustain set for Magicka, you want Lich because in terms of numbers, it's the best, but I love the versatility of Alteration Mastery. You want Alteration Mastery rings, and then 2 body pieces, as well as 3 body pieces for Clarions, and the Clarions Inferno Staff on your front bar. Preferably Nirnhoned. You can make Sharpened work pretty good too. Sometimes Infused, but that's a little bit more procky than I want to be this patch, you know, with shit like Slodes around. And on my back bar, I have a Maelstrom's Restoration Stave. So, I have taken out Path, which I kind of hate to do, for Rapid Regen, which is slightly more healing than Path. Even though Path does a crap ton of healing, Rapid Regen is more overall net healing, the cost is less, and it works with the VMA Resto Stave. So that's a defensive heal over time. And then we have another defensive heal over time that is triggered by offense, being Funnel. I'm playing a Breton. If you want, max damage, be a Dunmer. However, it's not going to be too much of a difference since percentage amplifications sort of suck in PvP because of how Battle Spirit works. But Alteration Mastery plus Breton means my cost for most of my spells, especially Strife, is really low. So my favorite RP skill is actually somewhat viable, though in my opinion, it's still, not even in my opinion, it's almost a fact that it costs too much for what it does. Even if it was just like 100 Magicka cost less than Force Pulse, it would actually be a little bit more worth using. But unfortunately, we use what we got. We have Shade, that's your bread and butter kiting skill. Merciless, another bread and butter skill for the Magicka Nightblade, because that is your main form of burst. You can line up a nasty combo after you knock someone in the air with Flame Reach. If you have a Merciless up, you could fire that as they're in the air, and that's unavoidable, 20k? Approximately, especially if you have it empowered by Soul Harvest. I'm using Soul Salt, because stamina is sort of overperforming in a few ways, especially the fact that so many shitty players can just dodge roll all over the fucking place. And I'm so tired of potatoes just spamming dodge roll when I actually need to kill them in order to get out of that situation alive. So, unfortunately, I've had to slot Soul Assault. You may notice I have Elemental Weapon on my front bar. So this was an interesting choice I made. You could consider this a flex spot of sorts. I like having this here though. It gives you the Psijic Orbs passive let's see, where is it? There's the spell orb, excuse me. So after a while, that'll be going through. It's also cheaper than Strife. So if you're being purely offensive, Elemental Weapon is not a bad option whatsoever. It's overall, it's just not a shit ability. It's pretty good. So what I like to do is I like to go Elemental Weapon, Cloak, and then Attack, Strife, Flame Reach, Soul Assault, and in that combination, if Clarions doesn't proc, I'll be fucking damned. So Clarions will go off in that time span. So typically, it's better for you to be up close and personal, because Clarions has a hell of a telegraph. If you are far away from Clarions, you can see and typically hear it coming. Order of the Lion. Talos. You can typically hear it coming and sometimes see it, so it's best to be used up close when it's less telegraph. Or it's the same telegraph, there's just less reaction time. On our back bar we got Cloak, because Cloak is, our very important part of our kit for getting to people and killing them. Then we have Rapid Regen for the sustain and defensive heal over time that it offers. Then we have Healing Ward as our quote-unquote defensive spammable. It's a good skill. It could be a bit better, it could be a bit less dodgy, but it's a good skill. Piercing Merc. This is because of all the shitty Stam Blades that are out there. I really get tilted by how many crappy Stam Blades out there are just able to spam Cloak and dodge roll and then use Snipe because, no effort, no skill, but takes away half of your health bar, or maybe a different ratio depending on what kind of build you are. That, in my opinion, just should not be in the game, and a lot of serious PvPers believe so as well. It caters way too much to casual players, and while casual players are totally allowed to have a good time, we don't want them doing that much damage and having that much survivability, because what about when good players try that playstyle? Well, one, good players don't like that playstyle. Every now and then you'll find a few who are into it, and they are deadly. Because it's effective. So when you find a good snipe spammer, oh my god. And then we come across Siphoning. This can be switched to Leeching if you're having Stam Sustain problems. You could swap off your Stam Regen Glyph. And here, I'm currently in the process of leveling Undo. It's not a bad skill. It's very niche, and it's nice to have the passive effects on your back bar, but I don't see myself using Undo all that much. Rest Ult is a very good defensive ultimate, while you could use Tether. Tether's great, it's an AoE stun, sort of a heal. It's actually kind of a shitty heal, because it's a little buggy in terms of timing, but overall it's just a good skill, so I'm not going to discount that whatsoever. That's pretty much it. It's hard to flex in the skills with this build. You could drop Mark, but then you're also losing a source of fracture, which as a gank build is sort of important. So since I'm playing this as a kill someone as bloody quick as I possibly can, I want to have that extra fracture. And sadly enough, that is why you will see a lot of snipe spamming Nightblades use Mark, because they're looking for a source of fracture at long range. So, Zos. Just take away the physical breach, it may help. Either way, it's also a great skill because you get healed when you make a kill. So that's, you cut it in half because you're in Cyrodiil, like what, 23, and that's rounded down a bit, 23% of your max health. That's pretty substantial if you're like being focused on and you make a kill and you're will enable you to get away. I've been able to jump into the middle of a Zerg with Mark on a person, make a kill, and get out still alive because of Mark. So a lot of people are using this skill sort of wrong. There's so many better uses for it. It's really annoying that it lasts 30 seconds, but it's great for your magicka sustain, so take advantage of that. Please don't spam this on people if you're not actually going to do anything. That's more of a PSA, because if you mark me and don't follow through, oh my god, that's so annoying. It's just a personal pet peeve of mine. As for potions, you're going to want normal PvE spell power pots, because most of my builds are built that way. Witch Mother's Potent Brew, you could try blue food. I feel the sustain is kind of fucked up, or if you try blue or even purple food, try stat. I don't like that at all. You notice my max health is a bit low. Yeah, I'm aware of that. You could put some prismatics on. I've considered putting a prismatic here, but then my max... Oh, I did not mean to do that. But then my max magic gets a bit too low, so I don't do that. I'm a stickler for max magic. I don't like it being underneath 35k, though with the new jewelry trait stuff, that may be changing in the future. Maybe, we'll see. Yeah, that would be the Perfectionist. The CP is the same as my other builds, and you can find the written CP and written build at dotsgaming.com. And yeah, also thanks Dots for having this on your website. Thank you, subscribe, like, follow me on Twitch. There will be a link somewhere. And you can find more gameplay of this build as well as many others that I play. And yeah, have a good day, everyone.